Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. This is a show we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. I'm your host, Sean McGahee, and with me, as always, is the always lovely and enchanting Miss Lisa Locke McGahee.
Hello.
Alright guys, well we have a lot of stuff to talk about on this week's show. So here's how it's going to go. If you're the first time joining us, I'm going to run through some topics in the world of geek. We usually start off some Marvel and DC news, then move on to some Star Wars and Harry Potter, and then miscellaneous stuff as well. Lisa and I will then discuss the topics, and then you fire back on social media, Facebook, Twitter, or hit us up at the Gmail account, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. So, since we have a lot to get into, I think we just need to dispense with the pleasantries and get right down to business. You ready to go, Lisa?
Do we usually have pleasantries at the beginning?
We usually have one or two pleasantries, just to start it off,
sure,
to warm up to it. But we need to warm up. We need to go right in, dive in, and get this going because we have a lot of topics to talk about, some of which hopefully won't spend more than a minute or two talking about them. But let's get going, guys. So, as I've said before, the name of this podcast has the X-Men reference to it, so when we have X-Men news, I always like to bring it up, and since we start off with Marvel news, we can start with X-Men news. So, yesterday, Game of Thrones actress Sophie Turner spoke with Hey You Guys. That's a great website name. Sorry. All right, I spoke with Hey You Guys on the red carpet of the British Academy of Film and Television Awards, and talked about how she's going to be in the next X-Men film, X-Men Supernova, which is targeted to begin production in June in Montreal. She said, quote, "We're about to start shooting the next X-Men. We've just finished shooting season 7 of Game of Thrones, and I've got a couple of movies to do before X-Men starts. And then we go to season 8. Now, people weren't quite sure the X-Men Supernova, if it was going to be a direct sequel to last year's X-Men Apocalypse, but with Sophia Turner coming back... Sophie Turner, excuse me. It's expected that it looks like that's what we're getting. Now, it's also said that this film will also revisit the classic X-Men storyline, the Dark Phoenix saga, which also served as a partial inspiration for 2006's X-Men The Last Stand. Now, an unconfirmed description of the movie surfaced earlier this month, saying, quote, "Gathered together by Professor Charles Xavier to protect a world that fears and hates them, the X-Men had fought many battles, been on adventures that spanned galaxies, grappled enemies of limitless might, but none of this could prepare them for the most shocking struggle they would ever face. One of their own members, Jean Grey, has gained powers beyond all comprehension, and that power has corrupted her absolutely. Now they must decide if the life of the woman they cherish is worth the extinction of the entire universe." So, looks like Sophie Turner coming back, totally fine with this. She's a good actress, love her on Game of Thrones. The original character of Sansa on Game of Thrones, I hated. I thought she was just a spoiled little brat. But her evolution throughout the show has been great, and I really give Sophie Turner a lot of credit for that, making her her evolution of the character and just making me like her more on the show. I thought she did a really good job, as Jean Grey definitely showed a different side of the character, a younger side, than what we got in previous incarnations from Famke Janssen in the earlier X-Men films. As far as the next one doing the Dark Phoenix saga. Now, if you haven't seen X-Men Apocalypse, you've had months, guys, so I don't care about spoilers. But Jean Grey did Phoenix out, so to speak, to take down Apocalypse at the end, which, for me, you were there. I was totally geeking out on that. It was just so awesome. So it looked like if they weren't going to do Phoenix in the next film, they were definitely leading up to it. My only problem with this is from the description or unconfirmed description that we've gotten, talks about, the adventures that span galaxies, grappled enemies of limitless might. We haven't seen that yet with these X-Men.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. I feel like it's too soon to jump right into the Phoenix saga.
It's essentially the second film of this X-Men. I mean, you got kind of your origin story in X-Men Apocalypse for this group, and I feel like they need to go on at least one more adventure. I mean, in the X-Men trilogy that I've had in my mind for many years now, of course, the third one is always the Dark Phoenix saga. I mean, even Brett Ratner, knew, or I guess Fox knew that in the third film of the X-Men franchise, like The Last Stand, that's when you do the Dark Phoenix saga because it's the culmination of the trilogy. So bringing it on the second one, I can see them setting it up, especially since I really want them to get the Dark Phoenix saga correct in this one, where it's not about Jean Grey just, having more power and Charles Xavier kind of limited her power when she was younger. The Phoenix is part of a much bigger universe, and when you just keep it on Earth, when you just make it about Jean Grey and not the fact that the Phoenix is actually a cosmic force that inhabits Jean Grey's body, I think you're limiting yourselves, or Fox is limiting themselves to the possibilities of a shared cinematic universe. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Starjammers, which is led by Corsair, aka Cyclops' father, the Starjammers are their chance at a Guardians of the Galaxy. They're intergalactic pirates. They're a very eclectic group. They can, do a lot, and again, open it up to a cosmic level, because then you can bring in the Shi'ar Empire and all that. So if they do the Dark Phoenix saga right, it can really open up this universe, and they can have just as much fun with that than, say, Marvel Studios does with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, there's a couple problems, though, that we have there. Number one, you just went like a hardcore geek mode. And I'm pretty sure that the vast majority of people have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
But nobody knew Guardians of the Galaxy either.
No, I agree. I'm not saying that's not my point. So my first problem with jumping right into the Dark Phoenix saga is that we don't care about her yet. Mm-hmm. The whole thing with this, we met her in Apocalypse, but there were so many characters in Apocalypse, and it was her introduction. You didn't have a chance to really get to know her or to get invested in her as a character. She didn't have that much screen time. Sure, she saved the day at the end, but I just don't think that there was enough time in that movie for you really to be invested in her. Mm-hmm. With the Dark Phoenix saga, they're always talking about what's more important, Jean, or, are we going to have to kill her to save the day? If you are not invested in her as a person yet, then it's not going to make you, you know what I mean? I just feel like they need at least one more movie to really get those relationships built between, Cyclops and all those people, to really show that they do have a strong bond, enough that you really can believe the inner turmoil they have. Yeah. Even though I know those first three, you hated them.
Not the first three, just the Last Stand.
Whatever. I'm just saying, I think even in the Last Stand, seeing, you could feel Cyclops' pain. I thought it. You believed. He loved her. It was obvious.
Yeah, in the second film, yes.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. So, I think it was it was clear you felt how much it hurt him.
Yeah, of course.
I wouldn't, if it was this one with these characters, I would be I don't feel it yet. I don't feel their relationship yet. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just think they need more time to build that. My other thing with going cosmic and you have these big things, X-Men hasn't shown us enough yet to bank on this whole cinematic universe. I think I think that you're giving them too much credit. Their movies haven't been that successful.
Okay, fair enough, fair point. But I'm saying they in the second one, or say Supernova, they can dabble in that a little bit and then work up to
I just feel like it's going to be adding too many layers that probably aren't going to go anywhere.
And I totally agree with you on that, because again, it's another thing where Fox Studios, just I guess same as DC, have been afraid of the property. They've been afraid of going too far out there, whereas Marvel Studios is here's a talking train, a talking raccoon. Well, here's a mystic guy.
But in their defense, the Marvel films do much better, because the X-Men films, it's they get a good one, they get a bad one, they get a good one, they get a bad one. They get, you know what I mean? I totally understand why they don't have enough faith in it to feel like they can go cosmic, because it makes more sense for them. In my opinion,
they haven't gone full in because they haven't fully committed to it yet.
Well, but look at DC fully committing and it falling on its ass every time.
They have not fully committed to that at all. Okay, if anything, again, I'll say this again: Batman v Superman, the uncut version, totally shows me that they were not committed to that film at all and what the potential it could have been, because all they wanted to make was the Batman film.
Anyway. My point is, I just don't think that going full cosmic is in their best interest, because I just don't think it would get there. I think they would spend too much time explaining this Dark Phoenix.
The origin of the Phoenix.
Right. And then it would have never come to anything. Where for them, it makes more sense to just make the Phoenix something that's inside her that's more earthbound, because it's easier to explain. It ties it, doesn't require, I just think that's why they do it. It makes more sense.
And you know what? I'm totally fine with that, actually. If it's something inside of her, that if you want to give that show lens, I'd be totally fine with it, as long as, again, you got to open it up a little bit, much like Marvel Studios has, and say she has this power that's inside of her, and say a telepath from the other side of the galaxy senses that power, and that's what brings the Shi'ar Empire here.
Maybe that would make more sense than making it an actual cosmic thing that's
inside of her. Yeah, cosmic power inside of her.
Yeah, I just don't think that because it would be too much explaining for a potential movie that may never happen.
Yeah.
And it's likely to never happen.
Yeah, and I totally get, and the big part, again, this is going to show how much I love the character of Cyclops, is the big thing about the Dark Phoenix saga was, Cyclops and Jean, and him, watching the woman that he loved falls apart, and just, trying to weigh the option of, losing her or even killing her, versus, again, the existence of the universe, and he just, how it really, tore him up inside. So, again, I think they need another film to help set up that relationship and, really need to nail in that relationship before they really get into the Dark Phoenix saga, because in the original storyline, you felt the pain not only with the other X-Men, but especially through Scott Summers and the turmoil he had to go through with fighting the woman that he loves and eventually having to kill the woman he loves in that respect.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But, I mean, of course, Sophie Turner, glad to have her back. I think, given her change or the way she's developed the character of Sansa on Game of Thrones, makes me think she's up for the challenge of taking Jean Grey and really doing something with the role, given a couple more films.
Yeah, I just think we need more time, too, for her and Cyclops, for their relationship to become believable to the level to where you believe that it's really, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, totally. I totally understand.
Yeah.
Got you there. All right, guys, so moving on, one more piece of X-Men news. The FX show Legion premiered this last week, and it took me a couple sittings, but I actually went through it, so I just want to go through and do just a little quick review on it. So for those of you who aren't familiar with it, Legion is the character in the X-Men storyline, David, who is the son of Professor Charles Xavier. Now, he's a very powerful mutant, and he also is a little schizophrenic, so he's a little bit uncontrollable. So in this rendition, so to speak, I watched the first episode. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm trying not to do too many spoilers. But first off, they don't mention Charles Xavier at all. They don't mention X-Men. They barely say the word mutant.
They're not allowed, are they?
No, yeah, this is X-Men. They're allowed to say mutant. I mean, Marvel Studios, with Quicksilver and Wanda, they weren't allowed to say mutant. But X-Men, Fox is, because, they own the X-Men, and X-Men are mutants. So this first film, it starts off, and I gotta say, starting off, I didn't like it. Because, he wasn't a psych ward. They were playing with, jump cuts and his state of mind and how he thinks he's crazy and all this other stuff. But as it went on, it kind of developed where he became more confident as a character, realized he wasn't crazy. And then at the end there, spoiler, he escapes with the help of some other mutants. And they meet this woman who looks like she's going to help him. So starting off, it wasn't great, but towards the end there, I kind of got around to where I want to watch the second episode just to see how it goes. I'm not a fan of the character of Legion. He's never been one of my favorites. He's had several solo titles, and he's been in other X-Men titles, such as X-Men Legacy, where Charles is trying to mend the fences of his relationships, starting with his son as well. But I've never been a fan of the character. To me, his most significant role was jump-starting the awesome storyline, Age of Apocalypse, and that's about all he's good for, in my opinion. But this show looks like it does have promise, and I will say, if you are looking for a different kind of comic book superhero show, something different from what the CW or even ABC is offering right now, I think you should check this out. It's just, it's a little different. I don't know how I'm going to like it. We'll see where it goes, but I think it's definitely worth a try if you were a fan of the superhero or mutant genre. One thing I was thinking about on the way here, because I was thinking about what to say about this review, I really wish instead of a Legion movie, they gave us an X-Men movie. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the character, X-Men is a very powerful mutant who is from the storyline of Age of Apocalypse. Now, in the storyline, he's Nate Gray. Nate Gray is the character of Cable, who we're going to see in the next Deadpool film. But what happened to Nate Gray in regular timeline, I guess you could say, is that he was infected with the technovirus, so he never was able to reach his full potential as a mutant because Mr. Sinister created Nate Gray, or helped create Nathan Gray, as a way to stop Apocalypse. In Age of Apocalypse, this character was never infected with the organic technovirus. So he was still young and still trying to figure out his powers when he got jumped over to our reality, I guess you could say. So he's still trying to figure out his powers. He's fully powerful, but he also has all these memories of a dystopian future or dystopian reality, so to speak. So I always found that powerful young mutant a lot more interesting than, say, a character like Legion, and how much I would enjoy that character getting his own show versus Legion. But in any respect, Legion looks kind of cool. Again, if you're looking for something a little different, I definitely recommend checking it out. Lisa, I know you have no interest
you
in
may
checking
be
it out.
surprised to hear that I did not watch it.
Wow, I know you didn't watch it. Exactly. I mean, it took me a couple
I meant
sittings.
anybody who's listening to this.
Oh, don't worry. They know how unprepared you are for this show.
No, that's not my point. That's not about being unprepared. It's about I don't really have much interest in watching TV shows in general.
All right, fair enough. All right, guys. So moving on next in Marvel news, Marvel Studios has released a behind-the-scenes first look at their upcoming film, Avengers: Infinity War. In it, we see a date to appear, January 23rd, 2017, which marks the first day of production at Pinewood Studios in Atlanta for the film. We get to see Robert Downey Jr., Tom Holland, and Chris Pratt standing on the set, kind of talking about the film and starting production and how it's going to take a year of their lives because they're filming this film and the fourth Avengers film back to back, which will take a little time to do so. In it, we also get concept art of Thanos, the Mad Titan, that is said to be the antagonist for this film and probably the next film as well. And then we get to see some concept art for Rocket Raccoon and Thor, who look like are fighting side by side. Now, in the video, Kevin Feige discusses the journey of building up to the Infinity War and how everything from this point has kind of been building to it. Now, directors Joe and Anthony Russo also talked about their involvement in the film and how Captain America Civil War was really all just part of the setup to Infinity War because the heroes really had to break up and leave the world vulnerable in order for Thanos to come in and take advantage of it and also give them a reason to come back together as well. So Avengers Infinity War is scheduled for release May 4th, 2018. And I cannot be more excited after seeing this. What do you think of this behind-the-scenes featurette, Lisa?
I mean, I liked it. I liked hearing... I always like behind-the-scenes featurettes. It's just interesting to get the actor's perspective of what's going on. But, I thought it was cute when Tom Holland was talking about how... he went and saw the first Avengers movie with a buddy and never imagined that he would be in it. And now he is, and he's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And, I can't even imagine for him how exciting this must be for him.
I know, I kind of like just...
he's still kind of in... he's still pretty new to the Hollywood scene. And, he's probably, balancing, trying to be super cool with the guys and then, being, total geek mode, Yeah. So, I think that is fun. But, I think the little bits and pieces that you saw, just pictures and some of the art.
Yeah,
and just even the bits you can see behind them, set stuff and green screen all around them. I'm excited to see where this goes. I think it's going to be really cool to see all those characters working together.
And that's the thing I loved really the most about it was, there are two things I really take away from it. First is you got Chris Pratt, Tom Holland and Robert Jr. You got Guardians of the Galaxy standing with the Avengers, and just the fact that these two worlds are about to meet, and also that concept art of Rocket Raccoon and Thor look like fighting side by side. And then I got this image in my head of in the first two Avengers films, you got that roundabout shot of the team, and then of course the second one you got it with Vision and Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver in there, and just imagine what this roundabout shot's going to be of all those characters, plus Guardians of the Galaxy, plus Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, Black Panther, that huge roundabout shot of all those characters fighting whatever minions Thanos is going to try to throw at him or something.
We'll make us buy that poster.
We'll buy that poster of the roundabout shot? I don't know about that. We'll see. That'd be awesome, though. I'll definitely put it up as my Facebook cover page or something.
It'll be the wallpaper on the computer.
I'm sure we'll get some good stuff. Before the movie even comes out, I'm sure we'll get some good stuff that I'll want to drool over. But another thing I got from this is something that, again, is really great about the Marvel Cinematic Universe compared to other cinematic universes that are trying to get off the ground is they had a plan since day one. Kevin Feige had a plan. He is the storyteller, the map reader. He knows exactly where the story was going to go ever since, maybe not since Iron Man, but definitely since the first Avengers film. And he knows where it's all been leading. There have been a few bumps along the way, such as including Spider-Man, retooling Ant-Man a little bit when their director dropped out, stuff like that. But he has stuck to the plan, and no matter what criticism came his way, he stuck to it. And which that's something DC and all the other cinematic universes that are trying to copy Marvel, because Marvel has been the first one to make this blueprint of these franchises coming together for one. Nobody's been able to copy it, and you really got to give Feige a lot of credit for holding it all together and just sticking with the plan and seeing it all come to fruition, which is just it was unprecedented in Hollywood, of taking all these characters, putting them together in one film, and then each giving them still their own solo films, but also one big film like the Avengers. I mean, it was exactly like Marvel Comics, where they all have their own solo titles, and then they're all together in the Avengers comic. It's just amazing, and for me as a comic book fan, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I already said that. I don't have anything to add. I'm not quite as geeked out about it
that's
as you
why.
are,
That's why.
But I'm really excited for this.
That's
movie.
why I love having the Avengers poster. I got that Avengers poster from the first Avengers film. Is as a guy growing up, reading comic books, we were always the outsiders or looked down upon. But now, as a comic book fan, that's what tearing up the box office. And not only does that Avengers poster, come to realize that, hey, comic books are cool, what we like is cool now, but also that cinematic universes are, what everyone is trying to do, because they're all trying to copy the success of the Marvel Studios and Avengers, and that poster for me has a lot of symbolism to it, really.
I still think it's a stretch to say that comic books are cool.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. You want to count how many people love Iron Man and Captain America?
The movies.
Exactly. Those are superheroes and comic book
characters. I didn't say that superheroes and the characters are not cool now. I'm saying I think it's a stretch to say that comic books are cool.
Oh, comic books are so cool now, okay?
I'm just saying.
Everyone's starting to do comic books now, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Everybody's trying to take comic books. Every studio is trying to latch on to whatever comic book property they can get.
Yes, the studios are indeed. The general population, I don't believe, is buying more comic books. We could probably look it up and see.
Fair enough. I'll give you that.
That's my point.
But without the comic books, you have no source material.
No, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying that comic books are cool is hardly a truthful statement.
Okay,
People are not flocking to comic book stores now because the movies are cool. They like the movies and the characters. They're not exactly flocking to comic book stores for their stash.
I don't want to get into the whole comic book sale conversation, because that's going to take a whole nother half hour about how companies are coming out with number ones every 6 months and pissing off old readers. So anyway, let's just move on from there. Okay, so through a Facebook message or Facebook post, I guess, Michael Douglas has confirmed that he will be returning as Hank Pym for the upcoming Ant-Man and Wasp film. Directed by Peyton Reed, who directed the first Ant-Man film. The film was set to come out July 6, 2018. Douglas said, quote, "I think the only thing I can tell you with certainty is at this point is that it's going to have stuff in it that you've never ever seen in a movie before." The film also stars Paul Rudd, Evangeline, is that how you say it?
Yeah, Evangeline.
That's hard to say. And Michael Pena is, of course, coming back as Luis. So, that movie comes out soon. Kind of a non-story, really, because we all kind of figured Michael Douglas would come back, but it wasn't a sure thing. But
I'm excited for this movie, though, because I really liked the first Ant-Man. I liked it, I think, way better than you did. But
yeah, you did.
I really liked it. I'm looking forward to the next one. I just thought it was really fun. I like heist type movies and things. So just the subplot of it, I really like. And I loved the chemistry between Paul Rudd and Michael Pena and the other. I thought it was really cute.
I liked I can never say
Evangeline
Lilly. Okay, I liked her character. The only thing I didn't like about the film was how I felt like her and Paul Rudd's relationship was kind of forced.
Yeah.
I didn't like her very much. I didn't get that. I liked the character, and I liked her relationship with Michael Douglas, and I liked Michael Douglas's relationship with Paul Rudd. So to bring him back in, I think that's good. I'm not sure what else they can do with the character, because they've kind of explored his relationship with his daughter and then also with Paul Rudd's character. So I'm curious to see what kind of new aspect they think they might be able to give it to make it interesting for a sequel. But
I'm excited though.
We'll move on from there. All right, guys. So last Marvel story of the day involves the actress known as Scarlett Johansson. Now, she was talking to Total Film Magazine about her upcoming film Ghost in the Shell, which we'll get to more to later. And of course, the conversation came around to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and her role as Black Widow. They were talking about how they feel like Black Widow should have her own standalone film, and Johansson said, quote, "I've talked to Kevin Feige about it. We're certainly very compatible creatively. I think we both agree that the character is right for a standalone. It's just a case of timing at this point for both Marvel and myself. She has several projects. I have several projects in which I'm currently committed to and actively pursuing. If I did it, I would dedicate myself completely to making it amazing. It would have to be the best version that movie could possibly be. Otherwise, I would never do it." Now, people have been talking about a Black Widow standalone film for quite some time now, just because she was probably the most dominant. She has been the most dominant female character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, DC got the first female standalone film coming up with Wonder Woman. Marvel has announced Captain Marvel coming out as well. Would you want to see a Black Widow standalone film?
I have said this before. I don't think that I would. I don't have any problem with Scarlett Johansson, and I think she's done a great job as Black Widow. I just don't think that Black Widow, a standalone film, what makes her special is how she worked with everybody else. I just see her as a backup, not as a lead, and her character, not her. Yeah. I just don't think it's necessary.
I agree.
I can't see how I just can't see how that character could carry a standalone superhero film. Yeah. Personally.
Yeah, I agree. Even in the comic books, she's much better as a supporting character in titles like Captain America and the Avengers. She does have a current series written by Mark Waid, which people are saying are good. I have yet to check out, but I'm going to check it out and see. The character itself, what I got from this is something that her and Kevin Feige have been saying for a while, since people are, clamoring for a Black Widow standalone film. Is something I go back to in regards to the Infinity War featurette. Is Kevin Feige's like, yeah, I know you want this, but I have a plan, and that's not part of the plan right now. It might be weaved in like phase 4, phase 5, but I already had this all planned out, and I'm gonna, continue on my plan, and then after my plan's done, we'll see what happens after that.
Marvel Universe is going full galactic now. How in the world would a Black Widow standalone film even fit into that?
Well, that's the thing. I think after Infinity War, it's all that question too of what do you do after Infinity War? What do you do after you take on the most badass of baddies in the entire galaxy? And I think what you have to do is go back to making it small again, because with Iron Man, you started small, and then you grew it and grew it and grew it, and now you're at maximum capacity with Infinity War. You got to go back to telling those smaller stories again. And instead of going galactic, let's go interdimensional, which is something the Fantastic Four could help them out with. But that's neither here nor there. But the Hawkeye comic book, again, a very small story about one guy on the streets of New York who's really part of something much bigger, but he's telling a more personal story. I think that's where they're going to have to go after Infinity War, get back to a smaller storyline, and again build up again to something bigger but different than what we had in Infinity War. So, all right, guys. Well, that's going to be it as far as Marvel news for us. Next, we're going to move on to some DC news, and we're going to start off with a quick review of the LEGO Batman movie. Now, Lisa and I took our daughter and our nephew to go see it yesterday, and it's getting great reviews. It's like 90% on Rotten Tomatoes right now, which is a lot better than one of the other movies that came out this weekend, which only got a 9% rating right now on Rotten Tomatoes.
I can't imagine what movie you're talking about.
Well, definitely not John Wick 2, I'll tell you that. But in any event, we went and saw the film, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Granted, I had some digestive issues, which, I
missed about half of it.
Not half, maybe about 15 minutes. But from what I saw, I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to going and watching it again. Not in theaters, but definitely picking it up on Blu-ray and catching all those little tidbits, because
there was a lot.
There's a lot. I remember watching that first that first part there where all the crowds were around him holding up signs. I saw one sign that said Batman Forever, and stuff like that. So I want to go back and rewatch the film and try to pick up on all those.
I mean, there were so many little nods to Batman lore.
Yeah.
Of course. Back to back. I mean, tons. I mean, and I don't even know much of it, and I caught a lot. So I can't even imagine how much there really was there for real Batman fans.
There was quite a few.
Like, not just movie Batman fans, but there was a lot of movie Batman stuff too, but just real Batman fans. They really piled it on.
Well, just to give you a little one you might not have known about was at the end there, when they all get together to go fight the Joker and all the bad guys, is they all get in their costumes, and then Alfred puts on a Batman costume. And that's an homage to the Adam West Batman, where there were episodes where Bruce Wayne, he couldn't change into Batman because he was being held captive by the villain. So Robin and Alfred, dressed as Batman, would go save Bruce Wayne. And so I love that little nod there where they put Alfred in the blue Batman costume as well, a little nod to that. And of course they talked about all the other Batman films and TV shows, and again it's just an homage to the character, but also I loved how I felt like they really understood the character of Batman as well. And also, probably his most key relationship, his relationship with the Joker as well. That was really great, highly entertaining film. Nora didn't like it so much.
Well, it's a long movie.
It is a long movie for a kid, yeah.
Yeah, she just got bored. I mean, she liked it, but she doesn't sit still through movies at home much either. She likes. That's why shows like, Peppa Pig and stuff are good for that age group. They're little 10-minute bursts. A whole feature film is a lot for her. And so, I think she did fine, and she liked it. It's not that she didn't like it. She just is a 4-year-old at the movie theater,
Exactly, yeah. I mean, Logan, who's a little older, he sat through all of it.
He really liked it.
And he liked it too, which I'm happy about.
Yeah, when it was done, he said it was awesome. Yeah. So that was good.
It was funny. He was sitting very stoic there, and I'm like, is he liking it? Is he not liking it?
He was not like, he didn't really show on his face much. Yeah. But then again, he is also autistic, so that's a little bit
so I'm curious to see, a couple days, let it soak in for him a couple days, see how it goes for him, see how much he really likes it. But overall, just highly entertaining film. The beginning was, from the moment they started, it was hilarious.
Even before the movie even really
the DC
started.
title, I love it. It's
like, the best.
The house that Batman built. Yeah, what's up, Superman? Bring it.
It was really, all the voice acting I think was great. I thought that the movie was really cute. I think my favorite part though was Michael Cera. I loved Robin. It was so cute. Just like I really enjoyed his performance. I liked the whole thing, and of course, obviously, Will Arnett as Batman was great.
Yeah.
He just is. He's so funny. But it was really cute. I highly recommend.
It's definitely a family. Out of all the films out in theaters right now, it's definitely a family film.
And that's a good point too. It really is a family film. It's not too violent, even though it's got it's about bad guys fighting good guys and ruining the city, but it's not got bad words. It's not violent. They don't talk about death a lot. It's really well done to make it family friendly. Because even a lot of family friendly films, there's some when we took Nora to see Moana, there's some scenes in Moana that are pretty scary.
Yeah, she got a little scared.
She did get a little scared. I don't think this one had any scenes in it that were scary.
Yeah,
it was very well done.
There was one scene though I thought she was going to get scared. I forget what it was though. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, but I just think this film was it's definitely got all the stuff very similar to how the Lego movie. It has all the jokes for the adults that the kids don't get, but they're not inappropriate. There's a couple, but it's not. It was,
the kids won't pick up on it.
No, it was very well done. I did not like it as well as I liked the Lego movie. I still liked it a lot, but I think the Lego movie was just amazing, and I didn't like this one quite as much. But I did really, really enjoy it.
Yeah, I want to go back and rewatch. I agree with you. I think it's not as good as the Lego. I just rewatched the Lego movie before we went and saw this one, and comparing the two just from that, I didn't like it as much. But I want to go back rewatch Lego Batman because again I missed out on part of it, and also it's weird now too because same thing we went and saw Moana. We bring our daughter to it, and I feel like I can't relax as much because I'm worried about her. Not only what, if she's going to stay there and sit in her seat or if, she's liking it or if she's going to get scared. It's I can't fully engulf myself in the film because I'm...
Welcome to parenthood.
Yes, exactly. So.
The one thing I do think that I didn't like about this one is I felt like the Barbara Gordon's character, it reminded me too much of Wild Style.
Yeah.
Like, I almost felt like they were the same character. Even, like, their voices were similar. The way that they talked was very similar. Those two characters, I thought it was too much parallel. And I don't know, maybe that's just how the Barbara Gordon character is. I don't know anything about that character.
Kinda, yeah.
But I just felt like that character in the Batman movie, it was almost like a carbon copy of Wild Style from the original
was just
one.
like the... the patented female character, really.
Yeah, I guess.
So, okay. All right, guys. So, stepping off of one Batman movie and talking about another.
Oh, God.
That's right. It's time for your favorite part, the ever-so-going soap opera of the Ben Affleck Batman film. So, it was announced, or kind of let out, that Matt Reeves, director of films like Cloverfield and the upcoming War of the Planet of the Apes, is in early talks to take over the Batman film that will be starring Ben Affleck. And
allegedly.
This is according to Variety and other multiple sources. So according to the outlet, Reeves has already committed to the film, but a deal has yet been official. Now, Reeves has been the frontrunner for quite some time since it was announced that Ben Affleck will not be directing the film himself. Other credits for Reeves include co-creating the TV series Felicity with J.J. Abrams, along with working on several episodes of Homicide: Life in the Streets. Now, he did direct Dawn of the Planet of the Apes back in 2014 and is doing the sequel War of the Planet of the Apes, which is scheduled to come out this year on July 14th. It's not yet known when production will begin on the Batman and what's going on with that film. But overall, Matt Reeves, it looks like, might be our guy. And I gotta say I'm okay with that. I didn't see Cloverfield. I had no interest of ever seeing Cloverfield because it looked like it was just a found footage film of Godzilla, which... I'm not a big Godzilla guy, so...
That was about Godzilla?
Yeah, I mean, it was a giant monster wreaking havoc on the city, so I didn't really care about it. So, but I did see the last Planet of the Apes film. I am excited for the upcoming Planet of the Apes film. So just based off Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, I'm excited. If Reeves was the guy, I'm totally excited about it. I think he's a good director and can do a good job with it. Now, talking about some of the other drama that came up this weekend in regards to the Batman film.
You don't want to know my opinion about
I'm getting there. I'm going to clump it all into one, and then you can comment on the as a whole, okay? So this weekend it came out that I posted it on the Facebook site where there was a source saying that they were doing a whole rewrite for the Batman film that Ben Affleck and Jeff Johns were writing. And not only that, they were going to do a complete page one rewrite, just like they were doing with The Flash. Then a couple days later, there was a source that came out saying that Warner Brothers was happy with Ben Affleck's script for the film. Now, according to that one, interesting story, is that this story came from, it was a BatmanNews.com, I believe, which had gotten his source from a person who works at Variety. And that person at Variety had, heard about it from a friend who'd heard about it from a friend, okay? Exactly. So when this guy posted this story that Warner Brothers was happy with the script, every other news story ran with that story with, citing Variety as a source, okay? But the one news outlet that did not run with this story was Variety. Exactly. Which means Variety didn't trust that person's source enough to run with it as well. So conflicting stories as far as the status of the script as well. Just a little more drama added to this. There's a running joke now on Collider where it's like, well, Jon Snow better get ready for his next documentary. What happened? The Batman. So, okay, Lisa, your time to chime in. Drama, Matt Reeves, go.
I don't really care who they get on as director because I have zero hope left for this film.
Okay, well, we can all, here's the silver lining in all this, all right? Ready for the silver lining in regards to all this drama is that Warner Brothers is said to have pride themselves in being a director-friendly company, okay? So the fact that they did not have a director for The Flash and they did not have a director for The Batman and are said throwing out both scripts for that because they want their director having input is kind of a silver lining because they want to bring on the director first and then have the director bring in his own input in regards to the script.
Except in this film, the director and the script that they're throwing out was written by the actor who's supposed to be in it.
I'm not going to tell you about this other source I saw that said Ben Affleck definitely wants out.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I can't imagine why he wouldn't at this point. Basically, he's supposed to star in a film now where the main people have said to him, yeah, we're not really sure if you're that person to direct anymore. And we think your script is kind of shit, but here, we still want you to be in this. I mean, it just doesn't give me... I just think it's going to be a disaster.
I know. It's very awkward, of course, because say, the source is true and Ben Affleck does want out altogether of this whole Batman deal. Can you really announce it until Justice League comes out in November? Because if Ben Affleck has a cameo in Wonder Woman coming out this summer, and he's pretty much going to be the star or co-star of the Justice League movie coming out in November. If word gets out that Ben Affleck will not be playing Batman post-Justice League or once out, what's that going to do for the Justice League film if people are going in and being like, well, Ben Affleck didn't like it, so, what hope is there for the film? So even if he does want out, can they really keep it under wraps until November?
I just don't know. I don't know what they're going to do.
I don't know. It's the ever-going drama again. It's just, it's complete opposites comparing this to Marvel Studios. Marvel Studios is so in line, and I don't want to hate on the DC Cinematic Universe. I really don't. I want them to get it together. And right now, my only hope for these characters is in the CW because they're doing a phenomenal job with them there, and the DC animated stuff, which we'll talk about in a minute. It's just, ugh.
I just don't think we need a Batman standalone film yet.
Remember, it's the house that Batman built.
Yeah, I know. I just think I don't know. I just don't think we need it. The last Batman ones were so good. I just don't think it's necessary. Just keep him in all the other people's movies. He doesn't need his own yet.
I don't know about that. I think a lot of people are going to disagree because there are so many Batman fans out there. Plus the fact that the only superhero that's really been profitable for Warner Brothers in the last 2 decades has been the Batman film, so that's why they put so much pressure to get this film done.
Keep doing that,
which again, I've said this before. The reason they depend on Batman so much is they have no idea what they're doing with the other DC characters, and Man of Steel and Suicide Squad, and even Batman v Superman proves my point. I think. So, all right, so moving on to another DC shared universe. Warner Brothers Animation has released the first trailer for their upcoming animated film, Teen Titans: The Judas Contract. The feature is set to include Christina Ricci doing the voice of the hero Terra, and Firefly alumni Sean Mayer is coming back to voice Nightwing, who has voiced Nightwing for several animated movies now. Directed by Sam Liu, who directed Justice League vs. Teen Titans, the film adapts the classic comic, which was written by Marv Wolfman and George Perez. Now, this storyline is said to be one of the highlights of the Teen Titans title, in which it kind of solidified the character of Deathstroke as a main DC character, not only for the Titans, but also the DC universe in general. And kind of one of the controversial things about this original storyline was that Deathstroke, who in the title was, middle-aged man, was having an affair with one of the Titans, Hera, who, of course, from the title, was a teen. So it's kind of, one of the things about the storyline. Not sure how close they're going to stick with it, but in any event, it's set to come out in spring, and it's going to be part of the animated DVD universe that Warner Brothers Animation has set up, that started with Justice League War, and it's continued on with Justice League Throne of Atlantis, Son of Batman, Batman vs. Robin, Batman Bad Blood, Justice League vs. Teen Titans, and the recent release, Justice League Dark. So, Lisa, I'm going to throw it over to you because I'm sure you don't have much to say about it, so throw me 2 cents and I'll give my 10.
I don't know. I don't really have much of an opinion. The trailer that we watched, it's just the one. I think the reason I've never really been able to get into the animated ones, I've watched some bits and pieces over your shoulder. I watched some of that Flashpoint thing with you, whatever. I know the trailers though. They're targeting. They're tailored for people who know the comics, who know the characters. They're not designed for the general public. Like the live action superhero films, the trailers are designed to grab large audience, like anyone, to appeal to any single person, moms, dads, kids, grandpas, whatever. The animated trailers, I feel like they are there to get the comic book readers. There's so much that they throw in those trailers, like fast, bam, bam, bam. Like I had no idea what was going on. There were so many characters they were throwing out that I didn't know who the hell they were. it was just like flashes of people going this way and that and saying things, and I have no idea what's going on. I watched that trailer and I got over and I'm like, I don't know who these characters are. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I have zero interest to see this. It did not suck. It did not appeal to me at all.
Okay.
And I think that that's part of when I think back about the other animated trailers that you've had me watch. They do the same kind of thing. It's like they're just trying to get those comic book fans to see it. They don't have that appeal that the live action ones do.
Let me counterpoint that with this. The other movies I named off, like Justice League War, Justice League vs. Teen Titans, almost every character that was in this trailer, they introduced in one of these other films. So it's one of those things where you just watch the trailers, haven't seen the other films. Maybe that's why you feel that disconnect, because again, much like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they introduced a character in a previous film and now they're coming full center, but if you've watched their films, you know this character, so you don't need that backstory.
Right, but you shouldn't have to have watched all the movies for the trailer to try to, that's the whole point of the trailer, is to try to get as many people as you can to watch the movie. You shouldn't have to have had a background in the, you know what I mean?
Like, I get you. Yeah, I mean, if you have no idea who the Teen Titans are, I mean, I see how you would be lost.
Yeah, I was totally
in the trailer.
lost.
I totally get you. So there's your.
But I get what you're saying too, because it would be like the trailer for, say, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows coming out, and you've never watched any of the others.
I know. Oh my god!
I can see how that trailer, you'd be like, what?
Okay, I told you that story once about how my boss several years ago, when the Deathly Hallows Part 2 came out, they were like, "Well, I've never seen one of the Harry Potter movies. This is the last one. I better go see it." And she saw it, and she's like, I didn't like it. I was totally lost. And I'm like, yes, because there are 7 other films you were supposed to see beforehand. I'm like, what kind of idiot? Why do you go see the sequel if you haven't seen the original? What the hell?
Right, but this isn't necessarily a sequel.
Yes, but
it's the same character.
It does have stuff that, if you saw before it was...
But those kind of things should be, it's kind of like, it's like adapting a book to a movie. You shouldn't have to have read the book to enjoy the movie. The things that you get out of the book that aren't in the movie just enhance your enjoyment of the movie. You shouldn't have to read the book to like the movie. I think it's the same kind of thing. You shouldn't have to have watched the other films to enjoy this film.
Okay, I mean, as a franchise, again, because it's a separate film, it's Teen Titans, so I totally agree you shouldn't have to watch any of the animated stuff, but on other stuff, like, Iron Man 2, I'm assuming you're going to go see Iron Man before you see Iron Man 2.
You are, yeah, you would
Of course, exactly, but it's different, again, because it's Teen Titans, so you shouldn't have to see a Justice League to enjoy Teen Titans. Totally get it.
Anyway, that's my opinion on the trailer.
Okay, so 2 cents, here's my 10 cents on this. I watched Justice League Dark the other day, and I liked it. Again, I try not to rip on the theatrical cinematic universe Warner Brothers is trying to set up for their DC characters, but I've enjoyed most of these animated films. I enjoy what Mark Guggenheim and Greg Berlanti are doing with their CW properties. You got 2, in my opinion, successful shared universes on TV and direct-to-DVD animation. How the hell can you still be fucking up the theater movies? Come on! I mean, I do get it, though, a little bit, because we're talking about movies that make billions of dollars, so there's a lot more people interested in throwing in their 2 cents and their ideas for it. But I just don't get how you can have, the two separate DC character shared universes that seem like they're doing so well, telling great stories with great characters, and the most important one is the one that's failing, so to speak. I just don't get it. So, but anyway, the trailer itself, I'm not too familiar with the original material. I've never read the Judas Contract. I kind of picked up Teen Titans when Jeff Johns came on board. That's kind of my forte with the Teen Titans. So I never read the older stuff by Wolfman and Perez. But in any event, again, I like Justice League Dark. I didn't like all the animated stuff. I didn't like Justice League War. I wasn't a big fan of Justice League versus Teen Titans. But I've enjoyed the Batman ones. I enjoyed Throne of Atlantis. And I enjoyed the latest one, Justice League Dark. So in this event, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt and say that I am anxious to see how Teen Titans, the Judas Contract, comes out. So, all right, guys. So we got to keep moving here because we are running low on time. I think it's going to be an extra long episode because I'm only through page 1 of 2 right now.
Maybe we should just cut some of the stories because I'm hungry.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go through, tell you what, we'll cut through these next 5 stories. We'll cut through them very fast. Okay? There we go. Okay. So jumping out of DC news, we're going to go into a little bit of Star Wars news. The Hollywood Reporter has said that Westworld star Thaddeus Newton is set to play a character.
Isn't it Thandie Newton?
Thandie Newton?
Thandie.
I can never remember.
Thandie Newton.
She's set to play a character in the upcoming Han Solo spin-off film starring Alden Ehrenreich, Donald Glover, Emilia Clarke, and Woody Harrelson. The film was directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, set to come out May 5th, 2018, and is set to focus on a young Han Solo before he became a smuggler and thief and met up with Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi in that cantina on Mos Eisley. So, Thaddeus Newton joining the cast.
Thandie.
Okay. Ms. Newton.
Okay, that sounds better.
Joining the cast. I mean, compared to the other cast, I mean, it looks like it's going to be pretty stacked, in my opinion.
Yeah,
you got a good cast shaping up. I'm curious.
I'm just curious to see what the plot is going to be.
I mean, they just said the plot. Well,
I mean, like...
So there was... they recently interviewed Billy D. Williams and said that a couple months ago they talked to him about it, and he didn't know who Donald Glover was, the person who's playing Lando. And I guess the two of them actually have gotten together recently and talked about it, and they actually said, or he kind of let it slip out, that a main portion of the film is about Han Solo, Lando Calrissian, and how they meet. Now, Chewbacca is also said to be featured in it, so I'm sure they're going to talk about that. I'm just curious how much of Han Solo's past they're going to put in it, because you have him meeting Chewbacca, him meeting with Lando, and then his famous Kessel Run. Are they putting all three of those things in this film? Because I honestly don't want to see all three of those things.
I know, that's too
in it.
much.
That's too much. I mean, the Kessel Run is kind of what Han Solo is known for. I'd much rather have already met with Chewie or already met with Lando and then do the Kessel Run. I don't want to see all that together. Some people are speculating as well, maybe it could be one of those things where, since a portion of this film is about Lando and Han meeting, maybe it's a flashback. Maybe we get Han Solo, we get Lando at Han's funeral, and then he gathers people around to tell a story about how he met Han, perhaps even.
Maybe.
So no one quite knows, but anyway, Miss Newton is joining the cast. Great actress, so I can't say I am against this. Coming up, StarWars.com or Disney XD has released the final episode descriptions for this season of Star Wars Rebels. So Star Wars Rebels picks up again this Saturday, and looks like they are not going to break until the end of the season, which is on March 25th. We're going to finish it out just a couple weeks before Star Wars Celebration, which we are 2 months away from. Coming up fast.
I can't believe it.
I know, right? Of course. So the last episode is a part 1 and a part 2. They're both going to be shown back-to-back on March 25th. It's called 0 Hour, and the first one is, quote, in final preparations for their attack on Lothal, Phoenix Squadron's plans are disrupted when Grand Admiral Thrawn discovers their location. Part 2 is described as Krapton and Tolan, I know I mispronounced that.
Whoa.
With the rebel base under siege, Hera and Kanan fight to keep the squadron alive, as Ezra attempts to rally help from an unexpected source. But the real episode that we're all excited about is the one that comes before those on March 18th, which is the day after St. Patrick's Day, which I do have off work, of course. So, reacting to a vision of Maul, Ezra defies Hera and Kanan to travel to a remote planet in hopes of stopping the former Sith Lord from carrying out his plans. And it's titled Twin Suns, so pretty sure
Wonder where that's going to happen.
That's exactly where we're getting. That's the one we're all excited about. So before we get to it, what do you think about these last couple episodes?
I mean, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm just excited. I just want it to be back
Okay,
on
so here's what I was thinking as I was rereading all this. The last part of that 0 Hour says, Ezra attempts to rally help from an unexpected source. Do you think the unexpected source, I got 3 possibilities. A, he's going to try to hook up with Hondo, and probably get some like the scum or the villainy to help him out. Okay,
yes, maybe.
1, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's my guess.
I guess, but I don't think that's going to happen because you don't see Obi-Wan until episode 4. Or 2, Darth Maul.
I don't know. Let me just go back to how I always say. I don't want to speculate. I just want to watch them right now. So can we get them all right now? I hate waiting weeks.
but the good news is, like I said, we're starting this Saturday. No breaks. No breaks. Every Saturday, we're getting some more.
Until we get to go to Celebration.
Until we get to go to until end of 25th. And then people are like, well, if it ends a couple weeks before Celebration, where we're going to get a look at season 4 at Celebration, and they're like, well, remember, they've worked on this thing already. Season 4 is pretty much in the can, so I'm sure we're going to get something.
I
don't know
wait.
we're going to get as good a trailer as we did for Season 3 at the last Celebration, but I think they're definitely going to show us some stuff. So excited for Celebration.
Yeah, I know.
It's going to be so awesome.
I
They
can't
just
wait.
announced that Felicity Jones and Ian
Emperor.
Remember, yeah, they're going to be showing up there as well too. So, and guys, I want to do some little podcast like post Celebration while we're there. So I want to do like
How in the world are we going to do that when we're there?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
You can't bring all our stuff.
I know. I need the microphones and I need something to record with.
Well, we could probably do something on my phone.
We could do something, but I don't know. We'll see. But I'd like to do like a day one first.
We could do, you know what we could do? We'll talk about it later.
Okay, I want to do like a day one.
We could just do some videos, like some little video
we
things,
could do that.
like every
We could do
day,
that.
like little. We could do some Facebook lives. Or
Yeah,
something.
there we go. I want to do a day one like initial reaction and then a final day like reaction to
We could
it
do
all.
like a little thing every day. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll
talk
see.
about
It'll
it.
be awesome. So
We could get Nora involved.
exactly.
You know, when she's walking around in her Ray
I
costume.
cannot wait to put her in a Ray costume, put her hair up and stuff too.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to do that to her hair.
You don't have to do that to her hair, but at least when I do like a little braid.
I could figure out how to do that to her hair. I'll
That'd be
have to start
awesome.
practicing that.
That'd be
Her
awesome.
hair's long enough.
The 3 buns.
Yeah, I could totally do it. Okay, all right.
That'll be awesome. I think she's gonna look so cute. All right, so last piece of Star Wars story that we're coming up with. So on Twitter, actress Rosario Dawson responded to someone who said that they would like to see an artist picture of Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano, in which Rosario Dawson actually responded saying, quote, yes, please, hashtag Ahsoka lives, hashtag Ahsoka Tano, hashtag Star Wars. Now, her response to this, from just a general question or, one guy talking to another guy, seems to think that she might be pretty familiar with the character of Ahsoka Tano. And then, of course, all this has blown up into Rosario Dawson should play Ahsoka in a live-action Star Wars movie.
I'd be fine with that.
Okay. So, as of right now, we have Star Wars Episode 9 coming out in 2019, and an as of yet unannounced Star Wars anthology film coming out in 2020. Now, they haven't said what that anthology film will be. Some are speculating it's going to be the Boba Fett film that was originally supposed to be directed by Josh Trank.
Blah, blah, blah.
But chances are we're probably going to get the ad announcement at Star Wars Celebration. But
I'd so much rather have an Ahsoka film than a Boba Fett
now,
film.
Lucasfilm is known for taking some of their characters from animated and bringing them live action. Most recently, we saw Saw Gerrera, who started off on Clone Wars and was brought to life in Rogue One, played by Forrest Whitaker. So, just a quick little idea of Rosario Dawson as an older Ahsoka Tano. Good with it?
Yeah, I'm totally cool with it.
I'm good with it too.
I mean, I'm not necessarily saying she'd be the best. I don't know. I haven't thought that hard about it.
I mean,
but I could see it.
Some people want...
Yeah, my phone is making noise.
Most
Sorry.
people want actually the voice actor Ashley Eckstein.
I don't think so though. I mean, I like her as the voice actor. I don't think she's the right look for Ahsoka though. I think Rosario Dawson would fit better.
I can see Rosario, and I was like a Rebels era, but I could see her because I've said this before. I want to see some story, whether it be a book, a comic. I doubt we'll do a live action set between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, where Luke, in his search for Jedi or anything Jedi related, runs into Ahsoka Tano, and Ahsoka tells Luke all about his father and what he was, the great hero that he was, the good friend that he was. And I feel like Rosario Dawson would fit in that era right there. I feel like.
Well, especially too if that played out in that like they were training together and the stories of Anakin came out and as she was training him, not like where they just sit down and have a drink,
exactly,
and talk about his dad,
where they spent maybe several months together,
like training together, like we're that kind of thing. I think it'd be great. I'd love to see a live action Ahsoka. I mean, you know me, I love Ahsoka.
So
I'm thinking that my Star Wars tattoo is going to be Ahsoka.
Probably,
yes. That's
do the the Ahsoka lives symbol or
that's
whatever.
that's what I'd like to do. Yeah,
that'd be cool. All right, so another just quick little Star Wars thing that I didn't put on here, but another rumor that's going around, of course, all these rumors, stuff like that, was that somebody came out with a theory about how Benicio del Toro's character fits together and would be Ezra Bridger or whatever. And I'm like, I read the actual fan theory, and I'm like, like a lot of fan theories, they're grasping at straws and stuff like that. I wouldn't mind it, but again, it's taking that animated character to live action.
Except Benicio del Toro is not capable of acting without an accent. I don't think he can do a non-accent.
he can.
I've never heard him not do an accent.
I think he's done it before.
Let's look it up, because every time I've ever seen him in anything, he has a very strong accent.
So when I thought about this, I did this little bit of research. Remember, Ezra is the same age as Luke and Leia. Okay, Mark Hamill is 65. Benicio del Toro is 49.
Yeah, but he looks older than 40.
Yeah, I mean, they could gray him up a little bit, but just that alone makes you say, nope. I mean, he's got I'm not saying he can't play the character, but I don't know. I don't see that happening anyway. But all right. So moving on from there, we're Alpha Star Wars. We got to keep going because we are definitely going over time.
I'm hungry, seriously.
All right, three stories. Okay, quick.
Three more.
Three quick stories. All right. So Warner Brothers has released the first trailer for their new LEGO movie Ninjago, voiced by Dave Franco, Olivia Munn, Michael Pena, and Jackie Chan. The big screen adventure sees the battle for Ninjago City, calls to action young master builder Lloyd, aka the Green Ninja, along with his friends, who are all secret ninja warriors, led by Master Wu, voiced by Jackie Chan, and they must defeat evil warlord Garmado. Come on.
Where is it?
I forget. They said it in the trailer too.
Yeah, Garmadon.
The worst guy ever, who happens to be Lloyd's dad. The film is set to come out September 20th, 2017, and is directed by Charlie Bean, the guy who is most notably known for directing the animated series Tron Uprising.
I have nothing to say except the trailer was cute.
Okay, cute. I wasn't in love with the trailer, though we'll say I was with the Lego Movie or Lego Batman, but again, after seeing the Lego Movie and Lego Batman, I'm on board with this.
Yeah, it was cute.
Because what they've done with it, what Lego has done with the property so far, I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. So, well, all right, moving on. The next trailer we're going to talk about is Ghost in the Shell. They just came out with a new one for that, based on the popular Cyberpunk Magna, as well as the anime adaptations. The live-action film stars Scarlett Johansson as the cyborg-human hybrid who leads Section 9, a task force assigned to stop cyber criminals. They now face a new enemy devoted to destroying Honka Robotics' artificial intelligence technology. It's directed by Rupert Sanders, who is most notably known for directing Snow White and the Huntsman, and opens March 31st. What do you think of the new trailer?
I mean, I thought it was okay. I thought it was better than the last few. It gave a little bit more, I think, into what the movie's actually about. So, I mean, I did like it better than the other trailers. Personally, I still don't really particularly have any interest in seeing this film. It didn't...
I was curious.
I thought it was better, but it didn't make me want to see it.
Yeah. I mean, the last couple trailers, we saw the style of it. And as, someone who's, of course, unfamiliar with the storyline, this really gave you a sense of what the story was going to be.
Yeah, it really did.
So if you build off the other trailers where it had all the style and, how it's all going to look... then you get this one with the story. You get a better sense of what the film's going to be overall. In which case, I was nervous before. I'm still nervous a little bit as far as the quality of the film. But getting the story and the fact that it's Scarlett Johansson, I'm more on board with the film than what I was before the trailer. I still definitely have my reservations. First off, the director. If Snow White and the Huntsman is, your best known film, that's a little nervous. And also, it's got that feel of much like other films like Aeon Flux and Ultraviolet, which kind of have the same tone with a leading female action star. Neither of those films were good, so I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Ghost in the Shell is a well-known anime property, so it's definitely got that fan base, and it's got to have some sense of, mythology, like a good core to start off. It's just a matter of, can the director and the storytellers and the studio bring it to life and get us general audience members excited as, say, the fan base that are already familiar with the Ghost in the Shell franchise?
I guess we'll see.
All right, so last story of the day, guys. Real quick, Netflix has announced their plans for a Castlevania series. Now, in the middle of a press release listing the streaming content's planned original program for 2017, one of the listings said Castlevania Season 1 Part 1 coming to Netflix in 2017. Now, this was spotted by IO9 and is likely the rumored animated series by Adi Shankar, who is most notably known for being one of the minds behind Dread, the film starring Carl Urban. Now, Shankar is also behind the fan film Power Rangers film, which was dark and gritty, which starred James Van Der Beek and Katie Sackhoff. That got a lot of people's attention for kind of taking the franchise of Power Rangers and giving a little bit of that dark slant to it. Now, the Castlevania series follows various members of the Belmont family as they partake in the family tradition of killing vampires, specifically the evil Lord Alucard. And if you take Alucard and do it backwards is...
What? I wasn't paying attention, sorry.
Alucard. Do that backwards. What's the evil Lord?
Dracula.
There you go.
God.
So yes, of course. Yes, that's how it is. And it's based off the famous game franchise as well. Now, Polygon also reports that Shankar is also looking to do an animated dark version of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. He said that he wants to be a little more serious, much in the line of Dragon Ball Z, saying, quote, "It's a compelling retelling of the first 3 seasons of the series, and it's going to be really fucking dark. Darker than any Power Rangers series." He is said to be begun working on the script for the first season of the Power Rangers animated series, but Castlevania looks like is coming to us soon. I think Castlevania would be really cool. I wasn't a big fan of the franchise, but the idea of it is really cool. My only worry is that it's going to turn into Van Helsing, that crappy film by with Hugh Jackman and Kate Beckinsale. I just hope they don't try to go that route. I want a more serious, tone. And again, it's a video game movie, so it's got that going against it right off the bat. So my only hope is that, again, they treat it with a little more serious tone, and I think it could be good. I like, monster hunting, Draculas, vampires, werewolves. I'm all on board for that stuff. I just want to make sure they do it the right way. The fact that it's going to be a Netflix series as opposed to just a live-action, big-budget film, I'm excited about that because, of course, with TV, you have more time to draw out the characters, more character arcs, story development, etc. So that gives me a little hope, especially the fact that it's going to be on Netflix. And Netflix is producing some great series right now. So I have faith in that. As far as the Power Rangers animated series, we'll just have to wait and see. I think we'll wait and see how the live action film is
that's
received.
what I was going to say. Let's wait until the movie comes out.
Because back in the day, not back in the day, but several years ago, they had planned a Green Lantern animated series for Cartoon Network. And when the Green Lantern movie flopped, pretty much they pulled that series. They did like a season and a half of it, and then they pulled it because people didn't care about Green Lantern because the movie sucked. So, again, we'll wait to see how the Power Rangers movie does before we see if we can get behind this Power Rangers animated series. Although, I was a fan of the short film that was put on YouTube. So, we'll have to wait and see about that. And that's it, guys.
Lunchtime.
A lot of stuff I know we had to get through, but a lot of good stuff. I was excited for this week's show because I felt like we had a lot of good stories to talk about. So, let us know what you think, guys. What do you think about the Castlevania series? What do you think? Are you excited as we are for the last couple episodes of Star Wars? And, of course, what do you think about the trailers? Ghost in the Shell, Teen Titans, Ninjago. And, of course, have you seen LEGO Batman? What did you think of it? Have you seen Legion? What do you think about it? Let us know. Hit us up on the Facebook group or on Twitter. You can always hit us up, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. And that's going to be it for this week. Anything else you want to add, Lisa?
Nope.
Before your stomach eats itself?
No, I'm just super hungry.
Okay, guys. So, until next time, may the Force be with us all.